brand new ASUS ROG Maximus 12 Hero Wi-Fi motherboard. This Z490 based motherboard supports Intel's 10th gen processors. It's designed to offer an outstanding experience, stock or overclocked. The advanced VRM features an impressive 16 power stages to ensure more than enough power under heavy loads. This hero not only looks cool, but stays cool by design. This new heatsink design is bigger, better, and cooler than previous models. A 3-zone VRM heatsink with a large heat pipe keeps the power circuitry cool. The M.2 heatsinks keep up to 3 SSDs at the right temperature for consistent performance. To the right of the CPU socket, we have 4 DDR4 DIMM slots for up to 128 GB of RAM. Thanks to our Optimum 3 design and a new daisy chain topology, the Hero can overclock to higher frequencies like 4800 MHz and beyond. With support for our exclusive AI overclocking, AI cooling, and ROG Game First 6 software with AI networking, your system can automatically tune itself for the best performance with a few clicks. Setting the industry standard is our pre-mounted I/O shield, making installation a breeze. The back panel includes plenty of USB 3.1 Gen 1 and Gen 2 ports, USB-C, ultra-fast Intel Wi-Fi 6, dual LAN ports featuring 5G and 1G connectivity, Bluetooth 5.1, and analog and optical audio outputs powered by ROG Supreme FX for an immersive audio gaming experience that draws you deeper into the action. To expand your system even further, you'll find a USB 3.2 Gen 2 front panel connector, 3 PCIe 3.0 by 16 slots, 2 of which include our safe slot designed to keep your GPU safe and secure, 2 RGB lighting zones, one on the chipset and the other on the I/O shroud. Addressable and standard RGB LED headers let you coordinate lighting effects across your entire setup with Aura Sync. The best just got better with the ASUS ROG Maximus 12 Hero Wi-Fi motherboard.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another wonderful week of Women's League. My name is the Russian Cthulhu, and well, dear viewer, you might be asking, where is Blue Panda? Well, unfortunately, in this week's Bed Wars, things just didn't go too well. Poor Blue Panda just unfortunately had a power cut. Proto just cha-cha'd himself off the map, and well, the current B streamcasters unfortunately got absolutely 360 no-scoped with me just using the new sense. But memes aside, though, welcome. It is planning out to be a very, very spicy week. Before we do get into all the formalities, though, let's quickly run ourselves through the league format and the teams that are joining us for this wonderful season. Well, we have wonderful set, fully packed 8 teams. All 8 slots have been filled out, and we shall be seeing all our 7 weeks to be played out in a matter of best-of-1 series with 2 rounds per day. And out of these 2 rounds, we shall be also streaming quite a fair few games. And then semi-finals and the grand finals will be played in a fashion of best of 3, which will be quite spicy to say the very least. Our previous seasons have been absolutely running absolutely mad, and look, this one is no different either. It is going to be an absolute bloodbath once it does get to the playoffs, but we are yet to get to it. Let's have a look at how our leaderboard essentially formed up at the end of the last week. Look, top 4, we have Quacked, Skyfire, Fallen Angels, and Wrens. And overall, look, only Quacked so far had a pretty much a flawless run. Skyfire, unfortunately for themselves, suffered their 1L, but apart from that, 7 wins is still something to be very proud of. Fallen Angels and Wrens then follow up with a bunch of, 6 wins for themselves. And look, overall, everything's been looking quite curious, albeit the lower we go on the leaderboard, the little bit more of a shakier performance we do see. But regardless of that, still all 8 teams have managed to show us absolutely stunning performance, to say the very least. Now, let's also not forget about, I believe we also have the prize pool to mention as well. Which I believe it is 3,000 wonderful dollary dues, 1,500 to the first place, and we do have a few issues to bear with us for a little bit, but look, we have quite a fair bit of money to really play for. Yep, there we go. Champions will be claiming $1,500 dues. Runners-up to get $1,000, and then third place will be battling out for the $500. So still quite a fair bit of money to be battling for, and plenty of incentive to get for yourself. A huge thank you to wonderful people at Ubisoft Australia for supporting the prize pool for us here at Women's League. But yeah, look, why don't we jump into our schedule for tonight and pretty much get ourselves cast our eyes towards what is actually coming for us. Well, round 1 we'll be seeing Silex Angels and Fallen Angels. Well, the battle of the 2 angels to be coming around. Quacked versus Radical Rebels, Viking Army versus Team Skyfire, and Grumpy Grapes versus Wrens. And out of the round 1, we shall be seeing Viking Army versus Team Skyfire, whereas on round number 2, Quacked, Silex Angels, Viking Army, Fallen Angels, Grumpy Grapes, Radical, and Skyfire versus Wrens. We will be seeing the Skyfire versus Wrens coming up on your screens very, very soon. But look, all of these matchups are looking quite potent, to say the very least. A few storylines to allow some teams on the lower end of the leaderboard to finally break through and maybe get themselves propelled even higher up on the leaderboard. But apart from that, really, for the top end teams, this looking to be like one of the usual days in the office. Why don't we have a look at our round 1 matchup for tonight? We do have the wonderful girls Viking Army versus Team Skyfire coming up. Look, a very solid lineup for both of these teams, and honestly, both of the rosters showed us some absolutely nice, absolutely phenomenal games, some really good performances overall, albeit Skyfire are going into this matchup with a pretty much slight advantage, and well, I say slight advantage, quite a fair bit of advantage points-wise, and they are the favorites going into this matchup. For Viking Army, unfortunately for them, this is the underdog match, which is going to be posing a challenge for them pretty much from the beginning, from the round number 1. I'm not too sure if we have the rosters for tonight. But regardless of that, why don't we actually have a look at the maps for the map bans and picks. I'm just going to quickly also check up with the teams if they are ready. But look, yeah, we are going to be going on to Clubhouse with, I believe, VA kicking things off on the defense. Checking, we do have the R's from Skyfire, just waiting on VA. VA also gave the R's, so we are going to be heading straight away to the wonderful German clubhouse, get ourselves prepared, get ourselves keen for all of that. And look, yeah, attack for Skyfire should provide Viking Army at least some form of, I suppose, advantage, or rather chances to get themselves on board for the points. But apart from that, really, Skyfire is still looking pretty dominant in their performances, even with the single loss in their in their pack. Really, shouldn't be really too much of an issue for now, though. The ban phase looking like we might be seeing something across the lines of maybe a Thatcher, maybe we shall see a Maverick or a Hibana, and well, there we go. Nothing to really get too excited about. Thatcher to be gone. We shall be possibly seeing a maybe Hibana, maybe a Maverick, seeing as both those operators can be quite powerful on the side of Clubhouse as the attackers. And look, yeah. For now, it is actually, funnily enough, neither of those operators are going to be banned out. It is going to be a Jackal, seeing as Skyfire do not want to be tracked in any shape or form. They don't want to give away the easy info gathering to their opposition. So, with that said, the Spaniard will be out of the equation. The mirror is also going to be gone, seeing as seeing as the other Spaniard is already pretty much out of the equation. But yeah, look, both of them gone. Won't be providing a whole lot of info gathering at all for either of the sides. And the last one is going to be a Melusi ban, which is relatively a decent idea, seeing as she does provide quite a fair bit of now knowledge, even with the quote-unquote nerf for her. Her Wobwobs still deal quite a great deal amount of, they dish out a great deal amount of information. And oh wow, okay, right, we're going into very deep ends of the dad jokes here, it seems. But look, yeah, I definitely would have to say, in personal opinion, Melusi actually feels a whole lot more stronger now after the slight balancing and changes. So, that said, we shall not be seeing her in this matchup. Round 1 is going to be taking us to CCTV and Cash, with Gone Walkabouts actually switching over from a Bandit to a Kaid to allow a little bit more flexibility on the plays, on the positioning of the utility. On the rest of the team, we do see the introduction of the likes of Jaeger, the Mute, the Smoke, and the Valkyrie, so plentiful info gathering game is going to be here, still present for Viking Army, and as well as that, plentiful info denial. On the side of SKF, we do have a Nomad, a Sledge, a Maverick, Hibana, and a Zofia. All of these operators have been quite frequently picked, and look, Skyfire definitely seem to have nailed pretty much their pace for quite a fair bit already, seeing a few drones being set up and ready to roll. Let's get ourselves into the action phase of round number 1. Straight off, sending us from the east side of the spawn, we are going to be seeing a very kind of upfront and up close and personal kind of push here. L is trying to get herself maybe a few openings, but funnily enough, the Mew Jammer only jams the 2 of those X-Kyros, so this should be still a very easy breach and a nice clean sightline onto the rafter. Going to Walkabouts is not even going to bother to try to assist with any peeks on people. On the side of people, this is actually a very clean breach. Nobody's even bothering to really try to even deny the breach, and not even the C4s are coming around. Instead, well, it is going to be just a gas grenade to get things underway, and we won't be seeing anything too spicy just yet. Ellie trying to, or rather L, trying to just find an angle really, but apart from that, really just gonna open up, the peak hole just to make sure that the take of the rafters is gonna be much easier. For Going Walkabouts, this is gonna be a bit of a rougher situation, seeing as she is sitting with a single only Jaeger device, and right now a single swing and a few flash grenades will pretty much dispose of that, and that's looking like that might be the case sometime very soon. Already spotting the position, the Frag grenades are starting to fly in, full send. Serenity already goes in for the peak and gets the dub, but funnily enough, actually, Widwan manages to slip through and able to score a frag onto Serenity, and just like that, very easily disposing of her. Another swing to come around. Pinging comes around from the drones, and right now needs to bail out as quickly as possible, which she will be able to do quite confidently as well. So, now with the trades fully done and dusted, the control of the rafters now fully reclaimed yet again for the attack, we are going to be seeing a very nice, very kind of paced down push almost by Skyfire, now that they lost their one of the main aggressors in form of Serenity. And really at the moment it's looking a little bit curious, to say the very least. M is waiting for a run out. Peepo just decides to swing in and get the frag. Cat's getting absolutely bulldozed by M, and all of a sudden, after all of that absolute flurry of kills, Widwan and M are the only two last runs remaining. Peepo to try to get the plan going. Chloe lands a nice doink onto Widwan, and it's all down to the sub for Viking Army. That is M from RDC. We're trying to go in for a bit of a swing, but right now Ellie is just already ready, keen, and blasting things off. Round 1 to go into the hands of Skyfire after a little bit of a fumble around, but regardless of that, still a nice, clean dub for themselves here. Round 2 is panning out to take us possibly to maybe a church or maybe even gym. But we shall see if that is going to be a repeat instead. No, yeah, it is. There we go. CCTV. Oh, pardon me, rather, it is going to be a gym bedroom to be changed quickly around after maybe a little bit of a debate. Looking at the lineup so far, as standard as it gets, the only kind of difference that we are seeing is the Kite instead of Bandit, but it makes for a much cleaner setup. Yes, Peepo, thank you. Holy smokes, Peepo is a certified meal that I would consume on the daily at this point.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Regardless of that, the introduction of Castle to this lineup pretty much calls it and pretty much showcases that, yes, this is going to be the gym setup here, because really, when you think about it, Castle for CCTV doesn't particularly work too well. Castle for, well, church doesn't really introduce a whole much unless you are planning to do something like a SSG-styled roam, but even that has been relatively infrequently seen in Women's League. So for that, well, Castle should allow quite a few nice sightline blockages, which should drain quite a fair bit of utility, quite a fair bit of shots, and we shall be getting things underway. Action phase is going to be starting things off once again. This very similar spawn for Skyfire on the southeast side of the map. Peepo is going to be pretty much straight away beelining to that jacuzzi wall to get things opened up, and I believe actually, yes, the Kite charge has been, pretty sure it has been hidden out in the bathroom stall. So Peepo's position actually going to be here all Gucci. Shouldn't really be having any kind of issue. She's been pretty clinical with that blowtorch, and the only thing that is going to be remaining after that is just to make sure that the Zephyr impacts are going to be coming through. Now, meanwhile, off screen, Widwan did manage to tag things up. Some more damage being dished out through those positions, but right now, Peepo, oddly enough, oh, hello. That's a peak and a half. Gone trying to get a few pot shots, but couldn't really connect anything tangible really there. But it does put us at a bit of a question of, well, do they need to continuously keep an eye out on that spot, on the dirt tunnel, because it can be quite an issue. We do unfortunately have a bit of a drone, well, bug, but that's all good. Corvise already trades out Cats after Chloe does manage to find a shot onto M. Once again, the control and any kind of contention for the construction site, cash or CCTV as a matter of fact, has been completely forfeited, so we are going to be seeing a full-on send through by Skyfire onto the, well, bathroom straight away. Serenity is already full on saying it. The rotation is going to come around and, well, claiming already the first frag. Going to go for a swing into Logistics office now. Does acknowledge that maybe some presence on the main stairs, but will be able to shoo away. I believe that was going walkabouts. Triceratops going to try to go in for a swing with the MP5K, but already instantly gets spotted out. Weird One still holding the angle onto the red stairs, and the plant is going to go down without any contention whatsoever. Serenity does realize that there's still going to be a flank around on the main stairs, does shut this down. Gone walkabout's gone, Triceratops gone. It's all down to Weird One, and not much can be done here. Minimal amount of HP, not a whole lot of positioning, and Serenity is just flat out hunting for those frags to be able to make this round number 2 Skyfires yet again. Well, round number 3 is upon us. We are going to be coming around to Church and Arsenal Room defense now by VA after realizing that, well, unfortunately, top floor is not particularly working out. Church and Arsenal Rooms should provide plentiful amount of sightlines, plentiful amount of safe ground to really play around, and with a lineup like this, it's bound to be able to bring plenty amount of denial of a whole lot of utility, plus the information, as well as that with Weird One switching over to Pulse from Jaeger. Well, a little bit more kind of scarce utility on denying any kind of projectiles, but at the very least, you do get essentially 2 players that can live track their opponents remotely. So M on the Valkyrie and the Weird One on Pulse. So should be an interesting setup to say at the very least. Plenty opportunities for the vertical C4s. As a matter of fact, with both Triceratops, M, and Weird One, sorry, not both, all 3 players having the C4s, this is bound to be quite an explosive round to say at the very least. But now though, funnily enough, no changes whatsoever on the side of Team Skyfire. It definitely looks like they are quite happy with their lineup, not really planning to bust out anything too controversial or too unusual. As well as that, we are not seeing any kind of aggression from a Viking army. It is a very kind of withdrawn gameplay, and to say the least, against Skyfire, maybe one would have loved to see a bit more of an aggressive play, but it is what it is. I'm liking the idea of using the Aruni gate over on the kitchen hatch to just drain a little bit more utility. I would imagine similar thing goes, no, not on the motor hatch, so nothing in motor will be seen. And enough, maybe Chloe actually is acknowledging that there maybe is some C4 play, but she's completely unaware that Weird One is already tracking her, giving out full position. Serenity has been already spotted. Swings might be coming around, but nobody's actually playing off that information. M has the nice rotation hold, but it is quite unconventional, seeing as that can be cut off from there. C4 flies out, no damage whatsoever. Cats is able to very cleanly evade that. Another C4 flies in, only tickles Cats really, and another position to be brought out. Triceratops is now the sole user and the sole haver of, well, the C4. Another swing. Serenity is the one to win it out. Goes in for the swing for another one. There is an Aruni of going walkabouts trying to get into the gunfight. Actually manages to tag up Serenity quite substantially, but to no avail just yet. No ability to find any solid ground. Serenity now just waiting for Cats to get in position and maybe Chloe to reinforce the spot, but right now even more damage dished out. Gone walkabouts holding her position very nicely and very truly for herself, doing absolutely stunning work there. Forced essentially Serenity to play a little bit more passively until she's actually being spotted, but the plant is, funnily enough, already starting to go down. People already got the position all set up and ready. The rotations are starting to come through. More shots coming around, and look, Chloe making it a flawless round with a flank through blue. Absolutely able to shut things down. Another swing, and that's a dub. 3-0 is the scoreline for us so far. Very clean site rotation. We are going to be returning ourselves back to CCTV and cash room. And now, with Clubhouse, it definitely feels like it's a bit of a misplay from VA. That is, if they did put in the time into preparing against Skyfire, knowing full well that, well, Skyfire are actually quite proficient on this map, on maps like Clubhouse, like Oregon. Those are, which are the staples of staple maps of quite a fair few teams in WL.
Attackers need to locate and
Would have
defuse
probably had a
bombs.
little bit more chances of winning out some of these defensive rounds, say on much more unconventional maps, say Consulate, say Chalet, say even Villa. Maps that do allow you a little bit more of the movement ground, and something that probably is needed here for Viking Army to just fully utilize their play, because it definitely feels like they are playing off a bare minimum kind of ground, and it's not really allowing them to play their own game, or rather play what seems to be an enjoyable game for them. The introduction of Frost here
5 seconds
should
left before insertion.
possibly open a few chances for maybe catching off some early and kind of unchecked aggression, which is a good read, especially against somebody like Serenity, who so far quite aggressively pushed up previously. But we'll have to see what is going to be the turnout here. Once again, very similar setup. Peepo straight away going to get onto the breach. Nobody is yet to contest, but M on the possible run out could actually catch a few of the gamers off guard here, but that doesn't look like it is going to be the case. For the time being already, L is getting to, well, possibly holding out the angle from a garage, but nice dodge by people onto C4. Does allow Serenity to get the breach going, and a few peaks actually might come out. Kova is trying to land a few shots, but can't really make it work. Frost's SMG just about to be soon nerfed and would possibly lose the 1.5 times scope. Might be seeing a few final days before Frost will be kind of sent back to the kind of the sub-bench jail. Another swing from Serenity. Does she spot the Frost match? She does not. She does spot, though, the head of Kovai's. Very nice, clean play, and does spot the Frost match, so very well sorted out. Ellie this time is watching the flank, and, well, overall, it is looking very, very solid so far. Nothing too particularly exciting. Very kind of standard day for Skyfire, but gone right now. Actually, on the flank, could possibly catch one off guard. Does go in for the gunfight. Serenity, meanwhile, does get a triple kill. That's an injure on the side of Gone Walkabouts, and right now, oh, Serenity does get shot down. Gone Walkabouts and the weird one. The last two bastions here for Viking Army. 2v2, probably one of the closer rounds this time we are seeing from the two teams. Viking Army able to drain a little bit more time. 40 seconds remaining. Cats and people need to rendezvous together if they do want to come out successful on this one. But right now, the possible swing may be posing a bit of a threat, a bit of an issue. Weird one, knowing full well where the push is going to be coming from exactly. Another swing might be coming around, but Gone actually does land her shot. Weird one, trying to get into the play, but right now Gone Walkabouts actually gets shut down. It's all down to Cats. 15 seconds remaining, but she is cold and calculated. Cats finds the 4th point for Skyfire, completely denying one of the closer rounds for Viking Army here. Very unfortunate turnout for Viking Army. 4-0 is the current scoreline. And it is definitely a difficult time for them to get things underway. CCTV in Cash Room is going to be coming at us one more time. It's an attempt by VA to maybe now try to fix up certain things, and, well, we are going to be seeing some changes in the lineup. The introduction of Legion and Alibi for the top floor. Hold is looking at spicing up certain things to maybe setting up a few more kind of positions to, at the very least, surprise the attackers and maybe force them to fire at that to give away a little bit more information than the usual. Apart from that, look, Triceratops to be bringing in the mute yet again. Going to be trying to deny the breaches, or rather slow things down a little bit more in the information gathering, because the information game so far has been what the team of Skyfire been able to acquire in quite an abundance.
5 seconds to go.
So that said, we shall see if this round is going to be any different. Widwan, oddly enough, well, looked into possibly playing down below, but instead no, we shall be seeing both kite charges up above, the Jaeger charge to be deployed on the rafters, only a single one yet again, which is looking to be quite unusual to say the very least, but this is still, regardless of that, this is a good adaptation here by VA to try to deny some early openings and to prevent essentially being flanked from the garage walls. M is there also to reinforce the position, to allow certain peaks, certain swings, and looking into possibly shooting at the ankles of people. People actually gets extra spicy about her positioning and actually decides to open up both sides of the wall, which is looking to be quite a possibility. That's one side of the wall now opened up, and well, decides to really not care about the other one, which might pose a threat later on, seeing as it doesn't provide as wide of an angle onto the rafters window. Now yet another push coming through to us cats to now rendezvous with Ellie. This time a slightly different approach now that they've acknowledged that, well, there's not a whole lot of ways to really push out the Jaeger easily, with the Kaid Electroclaws and M being kind of there as well. Possibly if they've drawn it out properly, they've elected to actually go in for the push from the west side, and actually quite a decent idea, albeit it does possibly pose a threat of pushing through a single spot, but for people in Serenity, this doesn't look like the issue. Weird one now elected back to the spectator screen, as we are seeing a continuation of just the sheer abundance of the pushes. Flash grenades, frag grenades coming in to ensure that the breaches are going to be done very easily. Kova is trying to do something, but right now fully flashed. This is not looking too good. Breaches happened, the angles are opened, and this is just an absolutely unfortunate setup here, really. Serenity currently on her double kill. Plentiful amount of damage been done. Fantastic swing by Corvise though, as well as M providing some crossfire. Another one comes around, but MX4 cannot outgun the AK. It's all down to M and Chloe. Just absolutely clinical wrap up here in round number 5 to make it yet another one for Skyfire, looking to possibly make this a very clean win for SKFs to date. One round before we wrap up the first half. CCTV is going to be... No, wait, pardon me. Not going to be picked this time, rather. It is going to be Bar and Stockroom, the side that is usually considered a bit more of a memey one. VA looking to do something different about it. Bringing in the Castle, bringing in the Capcan and Alibi. Capcan obviously a 6-pick onto for an Echo. Now that is a peculiar one, seeing as both Echo and Maestro have been brought on board, and both those operators do specialize quite well in that info gathering / even plan denial game. So curious how those operators are going to be executed, pardon me. It is still very cold in Auckland, so we are a little bit and a few issues. What is happening for Ellie? Oh, right, she's surprised about the site. That's fine. Hatches are being opened up. Funnily enough, no hatch in Gym has been opened up yet, so I'm assuming that is going to be redeemed relatively soon, but a few interesting setups are being brought on board, with one to possibly hold with the Maestro camera while sitting in bar, maybe, but look, yeah. It is definitely looking quite unconventional, to say the very least. M poising to set herself up in a very curious position, to say the very least. The single impact grenade will pretty much expose her position with not really much of a way to kind of go about it and clear it out, but look, doesn't look like it's planning to bother Serenity. Already frags out poor Ammon, just unfortunate timing. And right now already an early advantage in the player count, and the rest of the team is yet to be found close by to the side. Some rotations up above are coming around, and Weird One might actually find the shot. She does. Phenomenal swing, phenomenal frag, and something that the Zofia player of Skyfire did not really expect. Now, the rest of Skyfire roster is looking a little bit stumped. That's probably the right word to use here, seeing as well things have definitely slowed down. It seems like it's a mass exodus here, actually, from the west side push, or rather Peepo and Ellie are the only ones to try to make a play. Funnily enough, going to walkabouts, making yet another play, making it a 3v4, taking out Peepo as well here. It's all not looking too pretty. Another gunfight does erupt, and that's a second one for Gorn before she is taken down. All of a sudden, Chloe is the last player standing. Was able to find herself a double kill of her own, but right now with Corvise and Triceratops still very up close and personal, ready to blast things off. Another gunfight does erupt, but no! Chloe wins out her own one, but is not ready for Corvise to swing. A 6-1 is the conclusion, or rather, pardon me, 5-1 is the conclusion of the first half. Still, VA at the very least were able to break that round bleed off a very unusual, unconventional position. Round 7 is upon us straight away. Chloe bringing in the... Alright, we're just getting confused over the numbers. Okay. Look, yeah, Chunka introduction to the CCTV hold is something that is very well unusual to the current meta overall, but carries a phenomenal amount of potential really for utility, for plan denial, for the push denial, and look, overall he's a phenomenal operator already. Plan to be buffed even further, funnily enough, once we get to the next mid-season patch, which panning out to be very curious to say at the very least, because both DP25, the Shumicha launcher, are also getting buffed, and yeah, look, it is going to be a scary time, really,
5 seconds to go.
for all of the gamers. We do have the updates on the scores. The matchup of Quacked versus Radical Rebels has concluded on Clubhouse as well, funnily enough, with a 7-0 scoreline. So Quacked will be, once again, figuring out themselves a very nice, quick frag. And it seems like Skyfire are potentially looking to maybe at least try to kind of at least partially match the pace. Already, we do see Corvise, funnily enough, get the mid jammers done, but funnily enough, they actually land directly on the wall that was actually predicted by Serenity, and we'll need to clear out the Runegate, which gets sorted out pretty quickly. Very nice early breach, though, gotta say. A very solid decision making here. Well done, but oddly enough, not much has been played off that very breach. There was not much of the coordination. The breach was done by going walkabouts, and Serenity did suffer some damage from what I'm assuming is frag grenade, but apart from that, this is still kind of just looking like
Bomb located by
a very, well, not standardized play, but a bit of a withdrawn one from Viking Army. It definitely also does show that playing with a sub is definitely seeming to be causing a few problems for themselves, maybe just mainly coordination and whatnot, but yeah, unfortunately, there's another reactivation of the Surya Gate, and for Serenity, this is just quick and easy farm of the points as well. Because right now, you look at Corvise, she's still theoretically back at the site. Emma's droning out. Gon is only now just about to make a drop into the logistics office. Triceratops is on the breach. Weird One still droning. So all of this, whilst only a minute remaining, it is not looking pretty at all. Another swing to come around. Ellie already has her position sorted out and ready and keen to get things underway. And Serenity also all prepped and keen for a swing. Another time, third time in a row, the Syria gate does go up, and this time not a whole lot of utility remaining. I believe Kolvais ran out of all of her lances, so right now it's you need to sacrifice the drone, which is not particularly ideal, with still not a single frag achieved. 30 seconds remaining. It is panning out to be an absolute bloodbath once the push happens, because right now VA are running out of options. Triceratops, Kolvais are stuck behind. Cats goes in for the swing, and swish, away goes Weird One. Another swing, actually picks up a frag of her own people, looking to maybe trying to do some plays for herself, but instead frags out like mad. And it's all down to go on walkabouts to try to make a play for her. This is not looking too pretty. Just teabags it out, maybe tries to go for a few exit frags, but instead just forfeits her life at the end. Round 7 to score the match point for Team Skyfire. Definitely gotta commend Skyfire here on the way how they've just held. They played it out really well, managed to keep themselves very nice and safe, and from there on, well, the rest is history. Bar and stock is being offered to Skyfire to go on to, but they are not particularly keen to do that. They just want to wrap things up as quickly as possible and kind of, well, go have a quick break. I do know a few of the players did need to go on a toilet break, and they didn't really time themselves, so maybe it's a quick speed run for some of them, but we won't be pointing any fingers at anyone. If you know, you know, kind of thing. Church. Once again, not much of a change. Serenity back on her play with the P10 Roni on a Rooney. The operator that has managed to make herself very efficient, very good at holding out certain positions to be able to deny quite some utility. And one of the IMO, still one of the more balanced operators to date that has been introduced, even with the fact that her passive ability that is being able to punch massive holes in the floor without using up her ammo is maybe a little bit busted, but comparative to some of the other stuff, I definitely think that she is she's one of the more well thought out operators, let's just say that, in regards to her utility. Apart from that, look, action phase is upon us, possibly the final round, but look, the introduction of the Monty could actually throw off a few of the ideas from Team Skyfire and could possibly score a Viking army yet another frag. But for now, yeah, look, I'm curious though about how will Weird One play out her Finker pick here, because we have a dual roam, and Serenity looks at possibly setting up a few positions to... Oh, this could be naughty. This could be naughty. Not too sure if she's actually acknowledging. No, she is completely unaware of the vertical position, and Cats could actually possibly find a very curious swing here. Funnily enough, the hatch has been opened up. Kova is already tagged up a little bit, and the first Finker boost actually came out. To no avail, won't be finding any kind of frags, and instead maybe a few swings onto the main stairs, but even then, look, it's definitely a little bit of a slower push. C4 being prepped, the callouts are there to where to pre-fire, but won't be finding the frag, instead does a huge amount of damage. Dealt to both M and Gone Walkabouts. Won't be actually securing the frag. It will be scaring them off. Surely Triceratops sees the toes, but no. Instead, it's a beeline straight through the dirt tunnel with Korvais leading the push. Quick swing, Chloe to detonate the gas, and oh, cannot run away from there at all. We do have another update for ourselves. Silex Angels just fell 7-0 to Fallen Angels on Oregon as well, so Fallen Angels will be scoring themselves yet another very nice clean dub. Waiting for Team Sky to possibly do the same thing, because right now things are not looking too pretty. Corvise does get a revive, but about to get possibly doinked. The health disadvantage is quite severe. Cats is just absolutely popping up with a 416. That's a double for her. Can she find a triple? Not yet, so ready to pick up her own. That's a triple for Cats. Just continuously lining up more and more frags, and it is not looking good. All down to the poor Dawn walkabouts on a Monty. Serenity tried to maybe claim the final frag. Oh, rather walks into the Claymore, and that's a oopsie there for Serenity. 15 seconds remaining. It's about to be run out on time, but Cats decides to claim herself that quad kill. Very nice, very clean. Well done, GG, well played. First matchup has wrapped up. A very nice, clean game from Skyfire, apart from that one round on Bar and Stock that seemed to have left them a little bit stumped there, but overall, still well played. Unfortunate turnout for VA, but look, they still managed to have some fun with the way how they've played, and yeah, as Gon said, VA 1 bar, and that's one of the dubs that they can easily take from this very game. With that said, 7-1. Congrats. Skyfire did manage to score themselves a nice 7-1 win. They still have one more matchup to come around, and that is going to be against Renz, which is going to be coming around a little bit later. We are going to be taking a short, quick break to get ourselves recuperated, get myself some, maybe another beverage, and, well, get the teams as well into the lobbies and get them checked and prepared. So we are going to be back after a little bit of a break. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a little bit.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Head in position. Wall is fortified! Wall's done!
10 seconds to go.
Door secured!
5 seconds left.
Activating camera.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Unrolling razor wire.
Camera in position.
Laser gate in position. Surrogate deployed.
Activating phone.
Activating drone.
I see you lurking.
Charge going live. Stay back!
Charge is activated! Firing!
A bomb has been located.
Next. Breach charge in place.
Tossing smoke grenade!
Bomb located by attackers. Attackers dropped.
Duties in place! Changing mix.
Attackers recovered the defuse 15 seconds ago.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for matchup number 2. We had an absolute, domination from Skyfire in matchup, in round number 1, matchup number 1, however you want to call it. It was a 7-1 victory against VA, a very solid dominating performance, but they still have one more matchup for tonight. That is against Renz, who, unfortunately for them, just came off a very unfortunate loss over Grumpy Grapes, which, look, quite unfortunate for them, but they get one more chance to maybe bring this back here in the matchup number 2. Skyfire versus Renz. Look, a matchup that, on paper, once again, looks quite favorable for SKF, but Renz have shown us before that they have a quite a potent lineup sometimes whenever they manage to make that chemistry work. But look, by the looks of what we've seen from Stream B, it's a rough day for them, to say the very least. For Grumpy Grapes, though, it was a phenomenal day. Crescent came in clutch as a sub for them, who hasn't really been activated ever for quite a while, really. And she managed to make it work quite well. So, look, with that said, let's have a look at the maps that we are going to be seeing, because we've already seen Clubhouse for Viking Army and Team Skyfire. Team Renz just finished their game on Clubhouse, and well, we are going to be going for the third day, or rather for the third map, technically, of what we've witnessed so far, even on the mainstream. Back to the Clubhouse we go, but this time slightly different sides for the teams. We are going to be seeing actually Skyfire to begin on the defense, with Renz kicking things off on offense. So for Skyfire, well, they're just continuing their trend from the last game, really. For Renz, though, this is the chance to maybe find themselves a bit of a redemption. So we'll have to see what is going to go. Wait, yeah, we are waiting. Waiting. So, right, sorry. We nearly managed to launch the game, but unfortunately, we just found out that one of the players was actually AFK. Now we do get the R's. Let's have a look one more time at the Clubhouse and get things underway, because, look, this has been so far a very peculiar night, to say at the very least. Good luck, funds coming out. We are going to get straight underway. Bans-wise, again, I'm not really expecting too many unusual things. Maybe even a repetition from last time. Maybe it is going to be a Thatcher and Jackal. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But look, in we go. Clubhouse. First ban, it is Skyfire, and it is, well, to absolutely nobody's surprise, it is Thatcher out of the equation. Big jokes. What's Moss? Yes, hello. Thank you, Angry Wolf. Just still waiting for the dad jokes to come out live on stream from Cortari, because she already cracked a fair few ones in the lobby. But funnily enough, a ban of Maverick after seeing that, well, and Renz fully well knowing how confident Peepo is on that breach, well, we'll be deciding to, well, disallow her to essentially play that role on attack. Decent decision, and Kaid now off the board. That is probably one of the more natural kind of bans straight after a Maverick ban. So, good thinking by Renz, at the very least, disabling one of the, no, Cortari. Okay, that one kind of caught me off guard. Thank you. Mira is the final ban of this matchup number 2, and it is going to be onto a Mira. Well, probably the main kind of even remotely close to a target ban is going to be the Maverick, which should at least slow down Skyfire a little bit. But Maverick was one of the kind of the key operators for the breaching that did allow the rest of the team do their own thing, and, well, for Serenity to kind of watch the spot. So for now, on the side of Renz, we do have Angry Wolf, Sporky, Cortari, Meeps, Burner Bear, and on the side of SKF, Chloe, Serenity, Cats, Peepo, and Ellie coming out to play. And first round is going to be CCTV to be defended here by SKF. Funnily enough, actually bringing a slightly different roster this time. We do see the introduction of Melusi, we do see the introduction of Womaya, as well as that the Jaeger on top of that, fully seeming to be acknowledging that, well, against Ren's, things might be a little bit dicier. Funnily enough, having also the mute there to possibly, well, hope to deny the Twitch plays from Cortari, it is bound to be a bit of a spicy one, I gotta say, because whilst Rens did just suffer a very unfortunate loss, I would imagine that they would be one of the rosters that are still quite good, quite strong on the mental side, so I doubt that a single loss like that would affect them too much. We'll have to see if that is going to be the case here, though. Because lineup-wise, they look like they came in quite prepared. The introduction of they doubling down on clearing out the electronic utility in form of Twitch and IQ, as well as that, bringing in a single thermite on Angry Wolf and then a Sledge and Zafir, looking like a pretty decent play, albeit they will need to make sure that they are making those thermite charges count, but it doesn't look like, well, it's going to be denied in any shape or form apart from the mute jammers. So I suppose the moment Burner Bear is going to be coming around, this is where we're going to be seeing a solid play and a quick breach. We're going to be seeing the discovery of that very spot. Quick breach comes around, and well, there we are. Already got the breach done in a mere matter of just about 30 seconds. Chloe trying to do some hardcore, I would imagine, but for now, not much to be really sorted out. Trying to open up a few more peak holes, but right now Spooky is very much aware of the presence and of the possible sidelines, so right now trying to be a little bit more sneaky beaky here. Cat's awaiting for the push to happen, but she is completely clueless of the Wild Zafir still being up close and personal here on that swing. Still a few pre-fires are there just to keep things spicy and on top of the tippy toes. It's a bit of a slower turnout here. A bit of a withdrawn push now that we kind of got to the point of the actual breach, but funnily enough, actually Sporky and Cat do trade some damage, but nothing too lethal just yet. Already another breach comes around. Meeps is about to jump in. The DMR, actually, funnily enough, from Cortari is looking to try to maybe wreak some havoc. They fully acknowledge the presence of the Jaeger, but right now there's so many, or rather, pardon me, Wamai, there's so many positions that it was kind of difficult to flank him out, but instead Sporky just swings, get the frag in, well, calls it a day, really. Full control of the rafters now, and Serenity is trying to contest currently the position of, against Meeps, who's got pretty much her number here on the construction wall, and right now this is not looking too pretty, albeit Katz is able to shut down the push of Cortari. Chloe with a double, but onto Serenity as well. That's a GN, very unfortunate. 3v3. Ellie is now out of the equation by Angry Wolf, so this is looking like a very solid push, but Cats keep holding her position really well. Meeps with that flank could possibly shut down the Malusi's position, but now, the spray down at the last moment does actually work out, and the C4 actually works out. 1v1 situation. Chloe, full well knowing where exactly to aim the shotgun, and the shotgun should still come out victorious here. 15 seconds remaining, but the swing should come around very clean, but the shotgun is just better, built differently, works out quite well, but this is straight off the bat a much closer round compared to majority of the rounds that we've seen from VA against Skyfire here. Well, right now it's a bit of an interesting situation because, well, Ren's so far managed to show us a great deal of ready fight back against Team Skyfire, and the fact that actually Jackal managed to slip through the ban phase would allow exactly what just Cortari did, is picking him and bringing him on board to look into, well, doing some dark bidding with getting some nice information, denying that roam play, denying the flexible play, and essentially forcing Skyfire into a similar position to what essentially Skyfire were able to do to VA back in round number 1, which is just box them in, not allow a whole lot of good ground to walk on, and from there on it's just all looking a little bit just grim for them. Oh. For the time being, the action phase is just about to start. We don't see a whole lot of roaming, really,
Attackers must
from
locate
SKF.
and
They are
defuse
fully
the bomb.
acknowledging how powerful can Rens be. Full 5-player stack downstairs by the site. Katz is looking to utilize her Malusi gadget to essentially slow down the push and get some good form of indication to, well, know exactly when the push is happening. Triple C4 lineup yet again, hopefully playing off the information that Ellie might be bringing on board. Apart from that, we don't see much of the other utility, a bulletproof camera, and a bunch of Jaeger ADSs and the magnets to be brought on board. Burner Bear try to scout out if there's any kind of information being gathered around, and one Maya, funnily enough, does get spotted, who did make a few final rotations. But for people, this is all Gucci, all fine. Nothing really is an issue, seeing as the pings are happening on this site, which will be just confirming for Cortaria and the team that nobody's really roaming around. But we do actually, funnily enough, have a one loner, and that is Serenity, playing around the western hallway, expecting any kind of form of push to happen, but funnily enough, it is going to be rather coming from a slightly different direction that she is expecting. Gym and the main staircase as well. A swing might be coming out in a little bit, and right now plays that very dangerous ring around Rosie. Does notify of her position, and your frag grenade could be coming around. The hunting party is there as well. Sporky's already on full send, about to go in for a swing, and right now, oh, this is a dangerous game for Serenity to play around, albeit that the angle is expected right now. A double swing is about to happen, and perfectly works out here for Rens. Phenomenal coordination, working absolute wonders here, already putting the Skyfire roster at a huge disadvantage here. And right now, well, Katz, in an attempt to maybe rendezvous with Serenity, couldn't really reach her in time, which means that she's stuck at the kitchen room to try to maybe make a play from there, completely unaware the enemy team is about her presence, so this could be a huge play. Sporky, meanwhile, does go in for the full send, does get the better of Chloe, pardon me, not Cortari. And right now, the push by Cats needs to happen very soon, because people right now is on a solo crusade in hopes of trying to get rid of at least some of the players. Cortari tagged up. Sporky is about to go in for yet another peek. That's a triple for her. Out of a blue, it's just all not looking too good. Cats on a flank of her own. Ellie is also being able to get the better one. Gets it down as well. Cat's downed. It is not looking too pretty because she's being pressured even more and more. Bernabear needs to push up right now. Ellie eliminates yet another one. There's a tag, and all of a sudden, Ellie just clutches it up. A triple for her. Just like that, to run away with a absolutely stunner of a performance. 2-0. Surely at this point, this is going to be a little bit of a tilted to lose out like this, because this felt like a little bit of a misplay from Rens going 1-by-1, and got an unfortunate play there from what I believe was Angry Wolf, who was downed, if my memory serves me right. But regardless of that, still get a few more chances to get the plays in done and dusted. Cortari is switching over to an Ashe, trying to channel her previous X-Elevate days. Should be an interesting decision, seeing as she is quite proficient at being a very aggressive player, and she managed to show us that quite well a few times. Well, not in this matchup yet, but maybe the decision to swap over to Ashe would be the better choice here. For the time being, very standardized kind of reinforcements with the castle. Quite a fair bit of flooring has been, or at least partially opened up, thanks to, well, whilst trying to open up the footholds. No Aruni is present here for Skyfire, so nothing too of a spicy one. And Peepo, what is Peepo attempting to do?
Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
Okay, Peepo is just waiting for the action phase to start things up. I'm assuming Serenity was able to do something funky, maybe. I'm not too sure, but regardless of that, Cats is going to be in playing in cash. Peepo still hanging around the con window, and, well, just one of the Black Eyes has been spotted here as well, so shall be getting straight over to the breach, trying to clear out some of the positions. Very quick deal with the castle barricades, albeit that the frag grenade actually does not reach the spot. And meanwhile, already Cortari lands a very nice shot as a revenge against L, who was able to get a very quality, very clean 3K at the end of the previous round. So, well, the clutch player will be out of the equation for the time being, but we'll have to see what can be done later on.
Swapping mags.
Meeps still feeling a bit cautious. There's that general trend that seems to be happening that right now, and a few of the players still trying to kind of adapt / figure out which positions can they trust, rather, not their teammates. With teammates, it definitely seems like there's still a plethora of plays, but the nice coordination, talking about trust and play, working out perfectly well, but so is for Burnabear. That gamer is able to remove Peepo very cleanly. 3v4, minute 17 to go, still a few ways about it, and already Cats once again pops out, gets the frag, and pretty much calls it a day. Cortari looking to try to capitalize off that play and shut down Cats' position, but instead decides to actually swing around, maybe just to deny some information, and then back onto contesting. Oh! Disgusting play, disgusting headshot, which will be leaving only 2 remaining players of Skyfire, that is Serenity and Chloe, against her. And right now, look, that is a huge round from her. Serenity removed. It's all down to the SAS player. C4 does manage to actually get the frag, and that's the diffuser drop. So now her priority now changed quite substantially. But Cortari, absolutely banger of a round. 3K, triple kill for her, as I nearly stumble over the words, and well played. That's a round for Renz to stop the bleed very early into the game. A third round. 2-1 is going to be our scoreline here. That said, still quite a fair bit of rounds to go through if they want to even get to the match point, and same could be really said against Skyfire. Right now they seem to be struggling a little bit against Renz, a little bit more than VA, obviously. Well, it seems like Ren's been putting a little bit more time, a little bit more effort and prep into this map as well, albeit it still leaves me at a bit of a question mark as to how did the game against Grumpy Grapes conclude in that way. But regardless of that, it seems maybe Grumpy Grapes did their own kind of prep and played their cards right. But we won't be contemplating too much about the past. Let's actually focus ourselves onto the present, because right now, look, Skyfire still are in the lead by a single point.
10 seconds left.
They've shown us a pretty decent defense on the
5 seconds left.
CCTV and Church, but Gym, the tertiary side, didn't really end up working out too well. So turning back to their primary site should still allow them to grab a possible round double, albeit that last time it did conclude in
Located.
a 1v1 clutch. So it's not too good, not too looking pretty. A little bit of a bug is happening, seems. A bit no good, really. Hopefully that won't be affecting too much the overall performance, because one would really hope that the reinforcements are actually still working. But let's have a look. Let's cast our side over to Cortari, who was last time seen as the MVP of the previous round, being able to pull off a triple for herself and the team, able to actually pick up a nice clean frag already. First, the gunfight does erupt, and it's L who does get the better of Meeps, and that is one of the more important soft breaches, to be able to open up a few sight lines as well as that. The frag grenades, and oh, Peepo. A very cheeky angle set up there, and able to shut down Cortari, which is a huge asset right now and has been for a while, which will be forcing either Sporky or Burnabear to start going in for the push. But with the fact of just how much of a vertical presence there is, it is panning out to be a little bit more difficult than one could have possibly imagined. Quick gunfight might erupt here from below. Burnabear trying to maybe sow some chaos, but instead needs to start going in to push up to get the better of maybe the unit jammer. But instead, no, Sporky managed to just get rid of that with the impact grenade pretty quickly. So the breach was conducted quite cleanly. L already has the position sorted out there. So all three of the Ren's players are currently very much disconnected from each other and still yet to find themselves some form of coverage for both sides. Peepo being pressured here is not in a good position, but makes the better of it as she does find a nice headshot onto Burnabear, rather, pardon me. Peepo. So far, not a single player of Skyfire has died, so this is looking like a contention for even a flawless round from Ren's, but a smoke grenade does come around to try to smoke out both positions. C4 flies in, but just can't seem to be able to catch them off momentum. Another swing comes around, will be able to get the better of Serenity, but no, Sporky gets a TK. And then Peepo, well, finishes it all off. Roasted, toasted, packaged, and posted. Thanks for the refrag, says Serenity. And while Skyfire do score themselves yet another point. 3-1. Bit of an unfortunate turnout there for Sporky. Maybe it's the nerves, maybe it's just the timing was not the best. And look, well played, I suppose. 3-1 is going to be our scoreline yet again. CCTV has been a success for Team Skyfire, whereas for Ren's, look, they have managed to get, at the very least, I'll give it to them, they are quite proficient at getting to the objective pretty quickly and getting the openings done. After that, it's unfortunately yet still to reach the full potential. Let's just say that. Funnily enough, we do see a swap of a few of the operators. The introduction of Zero is upon us on the side of Ren's in form of Sporky, bringing him in. And on the side of Skyfire, L is actually swapping over from the Valkyrie to a Goyo. Now, Goyo could actually work here quite well, seeing as that operator is able to pretty much play as a very kind of stationary smoke almost. Plus the Vector is a phenomenal gun, absolute bullet hose, so really nothing much to really worry about. Apart from that, really, look, not much can be said. The last time we did see Skyfire play it out on the church, it was again off the back of a 2v4 or 2v5, which did end up coming down to a nice spray down by L to push it into to win out a 1v3 round. So we'll have to see if something different can be achieved here. Serenity now playing once again as Melusi, this time with Cats kind of giving up the Melusi privileges, or maybe even Cats just taking the Jaeger privileges rather. Seeming to be trying to play a little bit more of an aggressive play on the main staircase, maybe shut down pretty quickly if she won't be too careful, which could possibly be a bit of an issue. But for the time being, she's just hunting the drones and, well, not really being contested for any part of it, really. Plenty of drones are coming around, though, to gather the information as to where the push could be conducted. And Cortari goes in for the swing. She did kind of re-elect herself as the next entry fragger, rather than Sporky, who did manage to show us some really good quality gameplay as Zero main, which is a phenomenal operator, still in my eyes, and the operator that bears quite a fair bit of utility that could be used on a great scale. So we shall see if that is going to be the case here. Quick breach into the moto is happening. Sporky is just preparing the camera to be brought on board, and straight away, just quick scout around. Will be not really telling exactly any information, seeing as Cats is playing on the other side of the wall. C4s just came around, but to no avail, and really Skyfire are kind of maybe feeling a little bit jittery here. The sheer fact of just how uncomfortable they seem to be feeling against Rent. Spooky is gonna try to go in for the push. Try to push the blue tunnel, or rather, to the oil pit we go. And already instantly a gunfight between herself and Chloe does erupt, and it's the SMG-11 that is being present. If back when Zero would have had the frag grenades, that would have been a very easy riddance, but that is not the case. Quick swing, quick peek is coming out to play. Cortari is trying to apply some pressure, but the positioning right now of Chloe is a little bit too powerful. Chloe gets rid of one, about to be ready to dispatch of another one, but right now the pressure from Moto could actually be a bit of an issue. Crossfire between Angry Wolf and Cortari, but the time is of the essence right now. People scores a frag, Ellie scores another one, Chloe is about to get swung upon, but Cortari wins that one. 4v2, 5 seconds remaining, the plant needs to go down, but no, it's being absolutely completely shut down. 2 seconds, 1 second, and look at the end. It is the frags that do win out the round. Very well done, very clean game by Skyfire, managing to just drain out the time and force the Ren's roster to be just continuously suffocating for time, and something that Rens are trying to redeem with the idea of switching Cortari over to an Ashe a little bit more, something just very upfront for the entry frag, but unfortunately does not able to net enough of the result. Back onto Gym we go, the only side, as a matter of fact, that was very cleanly wiped out by Rens previously, and Cortari actually dancing around the idea of bringing in, a Flores. Now that is a spicy one, just given the fact that they tease initially the Lion, which initially alludes to possibly Rens going for like a rush strat, but instead bringing in a Flores that should be able to actually deny and take out quite a substantial amount of utility, being able to dispose of stuff like the Goyo shields remotely, like the, well, not the mute jammers, because mute jammers are actually going to be the main bane of existence of Flores, but any other utility easily gotten rid of. Same could be said even for those castle barricades to be just disposed of from a very safe distance from just even from a roof. So we'll have to see how will that actually be working out, because Flores is one of those operators that allows an immense amount of potential for some of the pushes, but in the context of Women's League, we haven't really seen too much of the Argentinian operator. Final moments of reinforcement. Skyfire, as if they know exactly where to push in. The Retero drone comes around. Ellie will only be losing that chunk of ground, as well as that the ADS has now been drowned out. Another Retero drone comes around, but this time it is shot to bits, which won't be allowing Cortari to make any more damage just yet until the Jaeger is completely fragged out of the cash room. And with the way that Retero drones just came in, Ellie is now going to be at a bit of a higher alert, as the Argus camera now shut out and her position has been actually fully revealed. Funnily enough, it is a full hunker down setup, so unless Bernabé gets a nice crossfire or something across the lines, this will be a difficult one to play around. Sporky to try to make a play, but right now instead it's Serenity to actually pick up the frag from construction. Nobody's yet to swing, as the Syria gate is still open, and right now, well, Ellie is about to get pressured, but right now she can only really just hang really tight. Serenity goes in for a swing, yet another frag. That's the Terror drone number 3. Now gone and dispatching the Goyo shield, so another swing to come around needs to be now done. Cortari still has one more Retero drone at her disposal. Not really trying to hurry up anywhere. We'll be looking into possibly assisting Meeps with the swing, because right now Angry Wolf is solo pushing the west wall. Things may not be looking too pretty. Another swing. Serenity, absolutely clinical play there. Ellie now gets abandoned, but she can hold on her own. Fantastic gunfight. Now all down to Angry Wolf. to try to make a play. Serenity finishes off Cortari, and it's a quad kill looking for an ace. Any aces in chat? Please respond. Because right now, this could be the play here. Drop down, Angry Wolf reveals her position with a few pre-fires. Ellie is looking to possibly deny Serenity that ace, but calls out the position to say at the very least. And, well, Serenity is ready to jump out. This jump out gonna be commencing. Now, that is a completely different turnout. Confirming the position. The back is turned. The run out is happening. The ace concludes. There we go. Serenity does finally score herself that nice ace round. Yet another 5-1 scoreline to finish up. And Skyfire yet again leading the scoreline for themselves. Nothing too surprising, albeit it definitely looks quite an upsetting setup for Renz. 2 rounds that could have gone their way. They had the advantage, they had the positioning. One thing that they didn't have is the time, and they were pressed for it quite severely. A Kev pick, surely that's a 6 pick, and there we go. Indeed, it will be a Rooney instead. A much better choice, and a CCTV site as a pick for their hold. It's going to be brought on board.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Funnily enough, just about similar lineup of the operators, minus the fact that people now have been sent to play as ace rather than the Maverick. Now that Maverick has been he's been taken out. As for Renz, well, no introduction of Womai, which will be meaning minimal amount of utility for denying the grenades. So for Meeps, maybe making a quick backup plan B to bail out from the rafters would be preferable, albeit usually it does conclude before even that plan could be set in motion. Action phase is upon us though. As we do see SKF pull pretty much a very similar thing. Ellie just making sure that her breaches are all clinical, no congestion whatsoever, no mute jammers, it's just the reinforced wall. All set up for essentially Ellie to get that breach running. Meeps gonna be holding her position. Angry Wolf in cash, looking to possibly play for late game. 2 C4s in hand for Renz, and look, it's a solid setup overall. Maybe a pre-play C4 at a later date could be a good way to counter that early aggression, early push. And for now, funnily enough, actually, we're about to see the first gunfight erupt from a very unusual place. That is the double doors entry rather onto the red stairs. Won't be finding much. It is going to be though rather a run out. Who could that be? That is funnily enough Cortari. She's the person who's been very much of a fiend when it came down to going run out, spawn peaks, especially with a smoke FMG9. That gun is absolutely deadly, but on the other hand, unfortunately, the bandit tricking was not done at all, so people will get a very easy set of breaches, and, well, the rest is kind of history. Cortari, finally now punished with that swing, will not be able to play for late game anymore, but I do believe Spooky is trying to maybe follow up on the legacy of Cortari and maybe going around swinging with the MP5K with a 1.5 times scope, but that is not yet. Chloe, let's get the better of Birnaber. Swing comes around, Meeps to be taken down. I'm missing all of those shots. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, Serenity is not sorry. She's on a triple, she's on a ripple, but can't find the quadruple kill for herself. She does leave Spooky with a minimal amount of HP, and right now a swing from Cats should be able to shut it all down, and it will. Match point achieved by Skyfire in round number 7. Round number 8, possibly poising to be the final round here from this round 2 matchup. And it is going to be Church and Arsenal room to be picked by Renz to possibly make this the round to keep them afloat. For them, it's a hope. For Skyfire, look, they just want to close it all out. They have all the utility. Better yet, probably an even more flexible utility compared to bringing in a Maverick from Skyfire. People on the ace. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that was... You got me there as well again. SMH, my head, but funnily enough, well, I keep on saying that it's a bit of a same lineup for Skyfire. They are looking to bring in a little bit more spice. The Monty to be brought on board. And, look, it's something, it's a something to witness, I'll tell you that. The one time Blue Panda is not on our stream, we do see the Monty to be brought on board by one of their high-end teams, and Chloe to bring in the French op is going to be a peculiar one to witness, just for the sheer fact that Chloe is... I'm so used to Chloe kind of playing that flank wash slash kind of flank frag, but that is not the case. Full 5-player spawn inside of SKF on the east side, and Meeps already wanting to contest some of those angles. Might possibly have her head taken out here on that swing, but instead Monty should be able to scout her out. No, instead misses her, and no call out has been given. A swing by Serenity is going to be in play. She is completely clueless of the presence of the Legion, and actually just completely misses out on the Hong Kong operator. Meeps instead does also bail out from that spot. Funnily enough, also, the dirt tunnel completely shut off, and it's Ellie actually get tagged up. I'm not too sure even where the shot's been coming from. I don't think we've seen any kind of spawn peek. There is some presence by Cortari, but even then, that wasn't the pre-fire. Maybe through the floor. I suppose we'll have to find out, but without no impact tricking, not at all. Meeps tried to do it, but a little bit too late. Although there's still a Syria gate, so we still have a few ways about it, and we are going to be getting a quick breach by Chloe with the secondary heart breach charge. So yet another avenue has been opened up. So we have already the kitchen hatch open. The motor hatch is almost soon possibly to be open. The blue hatch is open, and now the dirt tunnel as well. But Chloe is on a singular player crusade, it seems, for now.
Reloading.
Saren, full concentration, full well acknowledging that there may be some presence up above, and whoa, Cortari. Very nice play, but a hunting party is all out there, shift Wing right into the sightlines, and oh my lord, this is something that you wish to never see at all. People already had her number, and, well, instantly shut down. Phenomenal pincer maneuver here by Team Skyfire to even out the scoreline 4 versus 4 in a matter of 50 seconds remaining. Rens need to just hold on a little bit longer if they do want to keep themselves running, because right now this is promising to be an absolute bloodbath. Serenity looking to maybe go in for a swing. Peepo solo contesting on the blue. Chloe trying to apply some maybe pressure later on in the push, but Meeps putting up the scoreline very nicely done, and right now Meeps is about to get quite a handful. Was trying to deal with the Monty, but for the time being, 20 seconds remaining. The push needs to happen. Peepo about to try to help here, but L instead does claim the frag. L, or rather, Peepo does get the frag, and all of a sudden, well, it's all down to Peepo. 1v2 situation does land the shot. 1v1 situation, 8 seconds remaining. The goo in the foot. Angry Wolf needs to just stay in safety right now, because she can just play for time, and indeed she will. Friends do score themselves that second point off the back of just the play for time, and look, it's definitely got a little bit spooky there close to the end. If not for the Guman, well, that could have been pretty much the GG, well played, but not the case just yet. Return of the Jedi, return to CCTV is going to be seen upon us. Team Skyfire is still sitting on a match point, but 6-2, only 4-round differential. 4 Rens, this means a very tall order. They need to push another 4 more rounds flawlessly without losing out a single one if they do want to at the very least contest for the overtime, and it is even then going to be quite a struggle fest. We'll have to see what is going to be the play here, because look, yeah, it definitely seems like a little bit of a crippling blow has been done to Skyfire's performance on the utility side, on the breaching, given that people no longer has that kind of free real estate with just using the bullet torch to get rid of the reinforcements. apart from that, really, Skyfire did a solid job on their defense. Offense, though, has been seeing a little bit of a shake here and there, so we'll have to find out how Renz will be able to handle the onslaught here on this very side. Last time we've seen it, it was well and truly in favor of Skyfire, with, I believe, Serenity going nearly on a triple, if not quadruple, kill streak.
10 seconds to insertion.
That is a possibility. Angry Wolf deciding only enough to reinforce the second side of the wall from rafters into CCTV, which means the only rotation spot is going to be through the window, which is usually being watched by L. Possibly a misplay, or just maybe Rens don't want to really deal with playing on the rafters and rather trying to focus around the construction site and the cache, which seems a little bit odd to say the very least. But regardless of that, let's see what is going to be the play. A suppressed Alder 556 in the hands of Cortari should allow no traces whatsoever and no hit indicators as to where they're taking damage. If she will be able to string some more frags in, or rather more shots from a cheeky position, which is something that's been pointed out by a few players from different leagues, including Nico, when asked about the reasoning behind using the suppressor on a few of the guns. But that's not the case here. Cat's already got the opener, trying to find a frag, and, well, frag she will. Instant headshot onto Meeps. Quickly removing her from the game is a solid start. Very solid one, say at the very least. And right now, look, it's a bit of a misfortunate play here. Angry Wolf to try to hold her position on the cache room. Seemingly could be possibly swarmed, but instead Cortari, phenomenal play, has managed to find herself that refrag onto Cat, so that will be allowing her to reclaim the construction pretty quickly. Even Katz is very much surprised and confused as to where those shots were coming from, and, well, essentially the plan of using the suppressed Alder pretty much worked out perfectly well. No call-out seemingly has been given, and, well, right now Serenity is a little bit struggling on her own to try to contest against Bernabear, who's been not having particularly a loud game for her, relatively quiet one. Another one comes around, but she will be claiming herself her second frag. Very nicely done. Another contest comes around, gets out damage to Chloe. Right now, this is actually looking pretty good. Renz might just be able to start pulling up quite a comeback, although you did see how Skyfire can still perform under the pressure. But right now, that prone shot is huge. People get to make an entry, goes in for the swing. The info has been huge right now. Chloe is down, 20 seconds remain. And right now, well, Renz could actually afford to go in full swing. They have a C4 from below as well, so it's down to people to try to make that play. She needs to pick up the diffuser right now. Gets the swing. That's Sporky out of the equation. Surely Angry Wolf would have the C4 prepped and ready. Plant is starting to go down. C4 out. Detonation, and that does claim yet another life. Peepo to go down. Third round for Renz. Out of a blue, managing, well, not out of a blue, really, managing to make it work really, really well. Second round in a row. Round 10. It's going to be seeing us at 6-3 scoreline. Already a much better performance by Renz comparative to their game against the Grumpy Grapes, to my knowledge, but now on Gym Bedroom, the tertiary side, they usually decide that both the sides have had a little bit of a struggle defending and getting sorted out. We'll be seeing potential contest here. Cortari decides to switch off from those high rate of fire / high frag ability operators onto a castle, and the rest of the team kind of follows suit here. The introduction for Bernabear with MP5 SD will be brought on board as some last moment kind of plan denial utility. Katz is absolutely just flummoxed about the fact that she died to a suppressed Alder, which is, I commend Cortari on doing that. This is why I play ranked with you. Yeah, look, maybe get me in on the stack as well at some point. For now, an expansion into Corn is going to be done here by Renz. No yet expansion onto Cash, which would have been a decent idea, although I say that so far most of their setups have been actually very clean without too many hiccups, so gotta admit they've done their due diligence here. Funnily enough, even a full expansion onto the rafters. Very curious. Serenity, oddly enough, decides to not really contest in her position against the wall of the garage, and neither is the rest of Skyfire. They're just kind of setting themselves up. Peepo wants to get the frags and the breaches going, but full well knowing that, well, Maverick is banned, she will have to wait for her teammates to assist her.
Attackers have located a bomb.
X-Fires now will be starting to light up, and ooh, Cortari might just be able to pick up something. Goes out for a few shots, but can't really find anything tangible just yet. Cats full now acknowledging finally that maybe a few peaks could be happening here, but long gone ever since Cortari is, and well, she already took up another position awaiting for the ground floor push, but none is yet done. Meeps an Angry Wolf playing a bit of a withdrawn game. Sporky in Cash. Burnabear has her eyes in the sky, but already so much information has been given away. Cats tagged up to absolute heck by Cortari, the person that she can't seem to be able to frag out consistently. Because that Meeps has taken up some damage, but Chloe spots a nice clean melon of Cortarian, just takes it out, blows it out of the game. I don't know why did I switch the accents there, but we'll just roll with it. Spooky also have decided to withdraw from her position, tries to hide away from the drone, and actually unscouted by the drone, completely clueless, and there we go, able to find one frag. Can she find another swing onto Ellie? She does! That double kill works out perfectly well now in a 3v4. Funnily enough, the plant is actually starting to go down already. Some coverage is there. Serenity keeping an eye out, and perfectly done. Chloe playing from below now, gonna try to maybe play for those peaks at the end. People's last player standing has her eyes out on the main stairs and fully well aware that there may be some presence on the main stairs, but Chloe eliminates that. It's all of a sudden all falling apart. Burnabear gonna try going for the swing, but there's the air jab as well. Meeps unfortunately can't seem to be able to nail any shots, and this is all looking like it's just about to be GG. Well played. As right now Serenity is about to go in for a swing onto the diffuser. Goes in for the peek. Peekaboo. Hello. Needs to be stuck. Peepo lands the nice clean headshot. GG. Well played is upon us. Yet another victory for Skyfire, but Renz managed to put up a very valiant effort overall. Nearly managing to pull off the comeback, but unfortunately could not have happened at that point. 3-7 in favor of Skyfire at the end of round 2 matchup, as Skyfire take themselves a double win in tonight's week, or rather tonight's matches. Tonight's week. What? Bedwords starting to get to me, gamers. I require some assistance. Well, with that said, this is us concluding here. Hello. We get to see the wonderful menu as well for a little bit, but there we go. Team Skyfire versus Renz 7-3. Conclusion on Clubhouse. Very well done. A little bit of a shakier moments, a little bit more shaky moments from Skyfire against Renz here, as Renz managed to put up quite a phenomenal performance. But really, at the end of the day, couldn't really find too much of the ground for Renz, albeit still commanding them on quite a fair few rounds. But with that said, that pretty much concludes it all for us, I believe. Really, apart from that, that's all from us. Thank you for coming around. Thank you for joining us. We had 2 phenomenal games absolutely stunning, dominating performance by Team Skyfire, 7-1 and a 7-3 victory for them. Unfortunate turnout for Viking Army and Rens tonight, but they will get still a few more matches to get themselves redeemed, get themselves up on the leaderboard even further. But apart from that, not really much to be said apart from GG, well played. Congrats to Skyfire for the 2-0 victories so far. From us as well, that's it. Huge, once again, shout out to our wonderful friends and sponsors over at Ubisoft NZ, ZQ Racing, Computer Alliance, Intel Cooler Master, and Asus ROG. From me as well, that's been it. There's the Russian Cthulhu. Take it easy, stay safe. We'll see you next week.
stop going back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you. I have to stop going back to you.